Hey, this is Darren from Akshon Esports, back with another Akshon recap. For those who are new, in this series we tackle important stories in the esports community in addition to other notable topics. For our first story, the community and casters alike were caught off guard when London Spitfire's Prophet flipped off the camera this week during the opening match of Week 3 against the San Francisco Shock.
The rest of the younger players in line, and here we have a substitution.
Well, Prophet's coming in for Hureg, and it was a great performance by Hureg on Iconfall, though. I mean, really sick fire play. Prophet!
Members of the community respond to this gesture with mixed feelings. There are, of course, those who are calling for him to be punished in a manner similar to XQC, while others are treating this incident more lightheartedly. Cloud9 and London Spitfire's CEO Jack Etienne even retweeted the following image by Reddit user Fordeka. Fans of Cloud9 will probably remember that this wasn't the first time one of their players raised their middle finger on stage. In a retort to Febiven during the League of Legends 2015 World Championship, Hai made the following gesture, resulting in a fine.
I think ASQ is gonna win because C9's playstyle is really predictable and they're drafting in a similar way every game, so I think they're definitely counterable, and ASQ is the better team.
You lost a little bit of their left there. Hey, I asked it for a prediction.
Shortly after, Prophet flipped off the camera. The London Spitfire official Twitter account posted the following tweet. London Spitfire's Mateus Portillo commented on Reddit that this had been a mistake on his part, as the tweet had been meant for his personal Twitter account. A fine for the player is likely underway for this unprofessional conduct. Now, onto our main story of the day. I haven't seen many news outlets or other sources really talking about this, but there are several issues with Contenders Korea. So the Overwatch League is off to a great start, but Blizzard has a lot of work on their plate to ensuring a successful first season. However, things aren't as rosy over in Korea as dark clouds are settling in. According to OSEN, a Korean media organization, and rumors floating around the Korean Overwatch community, Korean team owners are not happy with Blizzard's approach to Contenders Korea. Many teams could be disbanding following Lunatic High's departure due to there being no financial sustainability in fielding an Overwatch Contenders team, given the cost of player salaries, living expenses, and other expenditures. Even if you manage to win Contenders, the prize money doesn't come close to compensating for the time and finances invested to achieve success. However, the main source of contention for team owners are the conditions Blizzard has put in place for player contracts. Regardless of the duration of the contract, if a Contenders player is selected by an Overwatch League team and the player were to accept, the rules state that they can be recruited regardless of the remaining contract period. The previous contract would be terminated when said individual joins their new Overwatch League team. This has Contenders teams at odds with Blizzard for a variety of reasons. Out of the 113 players across the 12 Overwatch League teams, 45 are native Koreans. That's 38% of all players. It's easy to see that many organizations are interested in recruiting star Korean players to bolster their roster. Korea is arguably the best incubator for Overwatch talent, with players such as Who Are You, Saya Player, Stitch, Alarm, Seoul, and Geguri, to name a few, who all, in my mind, undoubtedly can compete in the Overwatch League. The chance of more Korean players being picked up is quite high. The aforementioned contract clause is immensely concerning for existing teams, as it threatens to destroy everything they've spent time building up. Team synergy, strategies, and investment put into creating a strong team can fall to pieces if a few key players were to be whisked away to North America, leaving behind a team that will have to reinvent itself. To compensate team owners, if a Contenders player is signed into the Overwatch League, the Overwatch League franchise will pay that player's former Contenders organization a transfer fee equal to 25% of the player's annual salary and a signing bonus. So if the annual salary of a player signed to an Overwatch League team is $100,000, then their previous team would receive $25,000 in addition to the $10,000 signing bonus. According to the same OSEN article, many of the Contenders team owners are frustrated by the fact that Overwatch League owners can take a player from their team at any point during the Contenders season. Contenders is currently designed as a way for amateur-level teams to compete in a tournament setting and allow for players to showcase their skills to prospective Overwatch League teams in the market for some fresh, uncultivated talent. In theory, the Contender system is fine if you are a player-run organization like FNRGFE, with no player salaries to pay, staff to manage, and a major brand to build in order to sustain the business end of your team. The hours poured into practice will hopefully pay off if you manage to catch the watchful eyes of coaches and analysts who may even offer you a trial, should you happen to put on a strong performance. There are no guarantees that the team that wins Contenders will even see a single one of their players enter the Overwatch League. And this is where we begin to run into problems. The Contenders system currently has no place for organization-backed teams to have financial stability. First, teams can receive income from a portion of the prize money, assuming they manage to make it into the later stages of Contenders. There can also be a minor return on investment from the player buyout fees, but what I just described is the ideal scenario for a Contenders team owner. Teams also only have 2 periods of the year where they can have their players potentially signed by an Overwatch League organization, disrupting the foundation built around those players. The cost of operating a Korean Contenders team, according to an owner who chose to remain anonymous, is around $20,000 per month, which includes a $3,000 salary for the general manager, $1,500 for the coach, $600 for each player in the team, $3,000 for monthly bills such as utilities, and around $9,000 for food and other expenses. So from a business standpoint, the return of investment is really unappealing, to put it lightly. There are still many talented players who did not qualify for the Overwatch League, but finding a professional esports organization to take them under their wing will be rough given the nature of the rule set, as playing the long game and trying to create a major following for your brand in Overwatch hedges on the popularity of your players and the success of your team, 2 of which being volatile factors such as your participation and success in future iterations of Contenders is not guaranteed compared to the security from having a franchise slot. Contender slots are an asset that can be bought and sold, as Blizzard needs to approve each transfer with the necessary paperwork. The downside is that the current system makes it difficult for a professional esports organization to warrant investing resources into a team in this Tier 2 league, given the added risks involved with player contracts and a poor outlook on future monetization methods. On the flip side, we have to remember that Blizzard has no obligation to support non-Overwatch League teams, as their main priority is making sure the Overwatch League is as successful as possible. Contenders has been described by Blizzard as a path to pro, functioning as a development league to showcase up-and-coming talent. There will still be plenty of players wanting to pursue a career in the Overwatch League, even if they can't make a sustainable living before actually being signed to an official Overwatch League organization. However, it seems that the state of Tier 2 Overwatch will inevitably shift to less organization-backed teams to an amateur, semi-amateur tournament system. This isn't all that bad if you are a player who wants to try going pro or competing in a tournament with a group of highly skilled friends. And if you're already within the Grandmaster to top 500 range, you've probably already have some sort of interaction with pros you could leverage to try to get a tryout for a team. With many of the Overwatch League teams having been revealed to be fielding an academy team in Contenders North America, we can expect plenty of player signings in the near future in such a manner that NA Contenders could see talented drafts from various regions to make for the most competitive Tier 2 tournament in Overwatch. Bringing things back to Korean Overwatch, I would not be surprised to see more teams like Lunatic High disband their roster and sell their spots to organizations who still want to have a go at competing in Contenders Korea. Blizzard was correct in creating a league to showcase the best talent outside of the Overwatch League, but the Path to Pro design fails to take into account the well-being of teams that have been dedicating themselves to forming a competitive roster. What are your thoughts on this? Are you worried about the state of how Contenders is evolving? Or would you like to see more structure to help esports organizations make it worth their while to support a Tier 2 team? Let us know in the comments section down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this controversial topic. Otherwise, that's all for this installment of Action Recap. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing by clicking the action icon, or check out some of our other videos. If you have something to say and want to join in the conversation, join our Discord server. Links to that and everything else mentioned are in the description of this video. This has been Darren from Action Esports. See you in the next one.